In this video, I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can double your tips at your next gig. My name's Michael Rock. I'm a musician in Sacramento, California. I play cover gigs 5 to 10 times a month. This is how I earn a part-time living, so I want to be able to earn as much money as possible. So here are 3 suggestions I have to take home more money from the gigs you play. Number 1, get rid of your tip jar and get some buckets. That's right, I use buckets. I don't use jars. This one here is like an aluminum tin bucket I found at a thrift store. And then I just printed really big tips and I just clear taped it on there. And then I have a Venmo QR code taped on there as well. You want to draw attention to your tip bucket. So this bucket is a big 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot. I got a top for this thing so you can like unscrew it and I can like store things in there. I have power cables and things like that in there, gaff tape, whatever. You can put a bunch of sit on it. You can sit on it, you can put an amp up on it. It's things like multifunctional, but I use it for moving stuff around and for tips. The point here is to draw attention to where to put the tips. So I find a big bucket with a big sign on it is helpful. One thing I've noticed is sometimes at my gigs, bars, sometimes they're family friendly places, often people send their kids to put money in there, and like a little kid's gonna, a bucket is way easier for him to like, get a slam dunk for a tip in there versus like a little jar. Make it easy for somebody to give you a tip. So, make a big target. Get yourself a bucket. Tip number 2, create yourself some Venmo tip cards. I use Canva to design and print my tip cards. I'm not sponsored by Canva. Include the following things on your tip cards. Number 1, most importantly, feature your Venmo QR code or PayPal QR code or whatever prominently on the design of the card. Whoops. Include your contact information, social media information, links to music. Put your YouTube on there if you have one. I have one. I don't have it on this card yet, so I need to make some new cards and update it and put it on there. So basically this is your business card and tip card. I use a photo of me as well, just so people know that it's like, hey, this is that guy, great, this all makes sense now. Print a bunch of them. I use Canva to print these. Once you've designed it, you have the option to print them, and you can either get them shipped to you, or you can choose to pick them up locally at a printer near you, like a FedEx, or it'll have some options, and you can choose them and just print them and then go pick them up there. I usually print 100 or 150 of these at a time. I tried to choose a color for these versions that like kind of stood out. I went with kind of like a salmony pink color. This is the biggest tip to double your tips. Once I'm set up for my gig and I got like whatever 10-15 minutes left before I actually have to play, I will take these cards and I will go around and put them at every table that I can. People are sitting at the table, I try to put them at that table. I try to put these at the bar. I ask the bartenders like, hey, is it cool if I put one of these up here when people are ordering? If they see this and they like the music, they might be able to throw me a tip if they want. Is that okay? I also put them in the bathroom. People are in private, maybe they feel more comfortable. Anyway, I put it in there.
Just want to show you, I do put them in the bathroom, see?
Oftentimes, I will go to a table and say, hey, how's it going? Mind if I put one of these at your table? This is a great way to connect with people briefly before you play, to just say, hey, what's up, or whatever, or have a quick little interaction before you start to play. It's just a Venmo QR code and my contact information. I'm about to play some music. It's just to make it easy to contact me or look up my social or toss me a Venmo tip if you like the music. Immediately, usually before I put it on the table, someone will be like, oh, let me have that, and then they will look at it. So this is a great way to do just a quick introduction, a casual introduction to all the people that are there, and then leave them with something that is a way to tip you. That part, putting this card at every table all around the venue, is crucial. I play at a venue where there's multiple rooms. In the other rooms, sometimes people can't see me, but they can hear me. I've put this Venmo QR code in other rooms at venues where I play, and I'll get a Venmo tip for like $10 from someone in another room, and they'll leave a little comment on the Venmo tip that says, "Heard you from the other room, sounded great, thanks." And it's $10 from someone who wasn't even watching me or in the same place as me, but they still tipped me because I put this card at their table. I know I said I have these on my tip bucket, but someone still has to walk up to the tip bucket and scan this thing, and usually like look like a weirdo for a while trying to scan this thing while I'm playing, and then they're up there fumbling around trying to like, get this, you know. I mean, have it on there. You got to make it easy for people whatever way they want to do, and some people still do that, so I have it on there. But having it at the table is an easy way to avoid that. So that's 3 ways people can tip you. They can put it in the bucket, they can scan the QR code on the bucket, or they can just stay wherever they are and tip you from there at their table. Or like I said, put it in the bathroom. They can tip you when they're finishing up in the bathroom, or they can tip you at the bar. Make it easy for people to tip you. So by creating these Venmo cards, this is one of the keys to doubling your tips. But make sure you put them all around the gig, the venue, the tables, bathrooms, everywhere you can. Then when the gig's over, I usually go and collect as many as I can so I can reuse them. When it works out, I usually have as much money in my Venmo tip bucket as I do in my gigantic tip bucket. Do you have some money in there? Doesn't look like a whole lot. I'll count it right now, see how much. I usually don't like to count my money at the gigs, but I'm kind of hidden away, so I'll count it and see what I got. Alright, I got $42 in here. It's usually like, that's kind of a not great cash tip night for me, actually. $42, but hey man, I mean it's voluntary payment, so I'll take it. $42 in my tip bucket. Okay, what's in my Venmo account? Let's look what's in my Venmo account. I have $75 in my Venmo account. $30 more than what I got in my tip bucket. So I'm glad I put the Venmo QR codes out there. So with Venmo and cash tips, I made $117 in tips at this gig. 75 in Venmo, 42 in my tip bucket. No one came up and scanned the bucket to tip me. So these were all from the cards I placed all around the bar. Once all these Venmo cards are at tables, you got your tip buckets out, you're playing your gig and everything like that, I usually will take a couple moments throughout the set and I'll mention a couple times, hey, if you like the music I'm playing, I have 2 tip buckets over here. One's over here, it's that big orange bucket, and then another one over here, it says tips on it. I also have these pink cards you might see at your tables that have a Venmo QR code on them, and you can toss me a tip that way too if you're digging the music. I don't go crazy with this. I do it maybe 2 or 3 times over the course of a 3-hour gig. I let people know during the gig how to tip me and all the different ways they can tip me. Usually when I do this, a handful of people will actually get up at that point and tip me or take action and tip me when I mention that. Try it and let me know how much extra tips you make at your next gig. Tip number 3 about tips. Play covers from different eras of music. So I do 70s, 80s, 90s, country, folk, and then maybe like full Neil Young sets of music, just because that's what I like and that's what I play. If I play a song from the 70s, someone in their 50s, 60s, or 70s might get up and give a tip for that song because that song resonates with these amazing times of their youth, and that song is embedded in their lifetime and it connects with them. But if I play a song from the 80s or the 90s, all of a sudden a person that's 35 or 40 or that age group that listened to that era of music will be more inclined to get up and maybe provide me a tip for playing some music that's from a time in their life where that song just embodied a certain time in their life that they really look back fondly on. So if you play music from different eras, you will connect with more generations of people that might tip you. Those are my 3 tips to help you double your tips at your next gig. My name is Michael Rock. Thanks for watching. Take it easy and go play some music, man.